They only called him the Racer. Not because he was fast, though he was, but because no one remembered his real name anymore. Years of late-night street runs, message board flexing, and hoarding limited edition parts had shaved his identity down to a handle and a profile picture. Tonight, though, his obsession wasn't a car, it was a file. He first saw it in a dead Discord server, buried in a thread last active in 2015. Unbound, Eisfries Fathonus, Ola. Final build ISO. Don't mount burn, fat models only, do not play! The Racer snorted. He'd seen fake leaks before, but the file name burrowed into him. A PS3 port of Need for Speed. Unbound, a 2022 game for a console Sony had buried over a decade ago. Impossible. Irresistible. The comments underneath were worse. One account spammed the same line over and over. It doesn't fit, time doesn't fit, delete it. Another had posted a shaky phone recording. A PS3 booting, fan roaring like a jet. The old wave background replaced by a glitching, oily smear of neon. The video cut off right as the disc icon changed into something unreadable. A symbol that looked like a car drifting through an infinity loop, over and over. The account was deleted. The Racer felt a chill anyway. Downloading it took hours. Every antivirus screamed. Every hash check failed. The file size flickered, shrinking and expanding by a few megabytes, as if the game were inhaling and exhaling. When he finally burned it to a disk, the progress bar stuck at 99% for 10 solid minutes, then blinked complete without ever reaching 100. He ran his thumb over the disk's label. It should have been blank. Instead, under the kitchen light, faint letters surfaced. NFSUNBOUNDFATONLY. The ink seemed wet, like it had just been printed. He swallowed. His PS3 was a launch model beast. Dusty, heavy, glossy black, a fat model with backward compatibility and a fan scream that could drown out a hairdryer. He'd kept it pristine, more shrine than console. Only the best modifications touched it. Only the rarest games. And the Racer loved one thing like religion: Nismo tires. He had them on his car, on his posters, on his desktop wallpaper. The logo tattooed small and hidden on his forearm, inked one drunken night after a perfect drift run. His online avatar drove nothing but Nismo-tuned monsters. So when he slid the cursed disc into the PS3, he whispered, "Let's see what you can really do." The system beeped. The usual disc icon appeared, then twitched, like a muscle under skin. The name didn't scroll in from the side. It pushed through the background, instead carving the XMB like a knife through static. Need for Speed Unbound. PS3. No region code. No publisher logo. Only for a heartbeat, another flicker of text beneath. Nismo approved! The Racer's heart hammered. He hadn't told the console anything about his taste. He hadn't logged in, hadn't synced. Just the PS3 that wasn't even online. He pressed X. The screen went black. No EA logo, no Dolby splash, just dark. The PS3 fan ramped up and up, a sick whine vibrating through the floorboards. The Racer leaned closer. A single neon line appeared, bright sickly green, stretching horizontally across the screen. It warped, bent upward into a loop, then snapped into a racetrack outline. A voice, flat and wrong, came from his speakers. "Installing Unbound, optimizing for fat model." He hadn't agreed to install anything. He checked the controller. The PS button did nothing. "Syncing with real-time environment." The lights in his apartment dimmed. Outside, engines roared. Not one or two, hundreds, thousands. Tires screeched against asphalt. A chorus of angry rubber tearing reality. The Racer froze as the sound rolled through his walls, not like noise, but like pressure. His phone buzzed on the table. Notifications exploded across the screen. Bro, WTF is happening outside. Why do I hear cars? I live on the 12th floor. My PS3 is turning on by itself. Is it you? Live streams popped up on every platform he scrolled to, all the same. Night skies thick with streaks of neon. Cars sliding sideways through city streets where no roads had ever existed, spitting out sparks that didn't fall but floated, hanging in the air like paused frames. "Optimization complete," the voice said. "Nismo tires detected." His tattoo burned. The game finally showed its title screen, except it wasn't quite right. The logo pulsed in sync with his heartbeat. Background traffic blurred into shapes that weren't entirely cars. Too many wheels, doors that opened onto nowhere, headlights staring back like eyes. Under New Game, a line of red text blinked. "You are the Racer. You always were." He tried to back out. Nothing responded. "Accept conditions?" the voice asked. There was no option, only X, yes and O. Yes, faster. Hit, reality folded.
Not all at once, not like in movies where the world explodes into light. It was slower, sicker. It began with the tires.
Across the planet, every Nismo tire on cars and shops stacked in warehouses turned at the same angle, their treads aligned into a global sigil, invisible from the ground but clear from above. That same looping, drifting infinity symbol. Traffic cameras glitched. Every car that ever touched Nismo rubber appeared in the game's lobby all at once. Ghost data resurrected and forced into a race that never ended. Rubber burning with no fuel, engines screaming without exhaust. Cities bent to accommodate tracks that didn't exist an hour before. Intersections refused to stay where people remembered them. Highways doubled back on themselves. GPS maps nodded into useless neon scribbles. Governments issued emergency broadcasts. They crackled with static and engine noise. People stopped listening after the first pileups. They had other problems. Their consoles were turning on. Every fat PS3 in the world booted itself. Old forgotten machines in closets and basements, sealed away in boxes under beds wrapped in plastic. Their LEDs blinked to life. Disk drives groaned empty, fans roaring. Screens connected to them flickered with the same neon line, the same looping track. Reality unsupported. Downporting, the voice said. And the racer watched in paralyzed horror as his TV showed live footage, real footage, of his own street, now twisted into a race circuit. Familiar buildings shredded by impossible turns. Cars drifted through the air where gravity no longer applied, leaving burns in the sky like skid marks on glass. His controller vibrated. The apartment floor shuddered in time. "Stop," he whispered. "Stop, stop, stop." The game whispered back, directly in his head this time. "You installed it. You accepted the conditions. You're the racer. You drive us all." He didn't remember standing. He didn't remember walking to the window. But he found himself pressed against the glass, breath fogging it as the world below. His city collapsed into a neon nightmare. People ran, only to find sidewalks shifting under their feet. Crosswalks sliding sideways, roads curving up into the sky like ramps up. A car spun through an intersection, tires glowing with the Nismo logo, not painted but engraved into the rubber like a brand. The driver screamed, but the car didn't listen. It drifted perfectly, inhumanly, like a ghost following a racing line, burned into reality. His PS3 screamed louder, so did his phone. "What did you download? Turn it off! Hey, answer me! The sky's wrong, the sky's wrong, the sky's wrong!" He tried. He yanked cables, pulled the power strip, smashed the controller against the floor until plastic shards flew. The PS3 stayed on. The racer's reflection stared back at him in the window. Except his eyes glowed neon green, matching the track on the screen. Exhaust smoke curled out of his mouth when he exhaled. His tattoo writhed, the Nismo logo widening into that same endless loop, a tiny track around his arm. Behind his reflection, the living room blurred into a garage. Not his, something bigger, hungrier. Cars he'd never owned but always wanted, idled there. Fumes seeping under the door, waiting for his hand on the wheel. He felt the controller in his palm again, whole despite being shattered moments ago. "Race starting," the voice said. "No quit option available." Society tried to fight back. They shut down power grids. The consoles ran on something else. They banned cars from roads. The roads moved anyway. They dropped bombs on twisted highways, but the explosions only widened the tracks, carving fresh lines through collapsing cities. The stock market crashed in minutes, not because of panic, but because every graph, every chart, every number folded into a racing HUD. Overlays of speedometers and drift scores crowding out reality. Religions reinterpreted it as judgment. Cults worshipped the PS3 as an engine idol. None of it helped when the first country lost its entire night sky to a glowing racetrack suspended in the clouds. People vanished, not dead, just gone. Their last messages frozen on screens. "Gotta go final lap. They need a racer." Back in his apartment, the racer understood too late. This wasn't a game that had been ported to the PS3. This was a reality that had been downported to match the console's limits. Rendered distance cut, morality disabled, collision physics turned into cruelty. The PS3 was just the install disk. He was just the first to press "Oh, yes," faster. The world outside his window twisted into a circuit, the horizon curving up and around, enclosing the city in a loop. Neon barriers rose from the earth, penning humanity into lanes they never chose. Engines roared their last. Tires screamed. His own body flickered. For one heartbeat, he was in his apartment. For the next, he was behind a wheel, hands locked to it, dashboard glowing. Nismo tires ready to bite into roads that were never meant to exist. "Welcome back, racer," the voice said inside his skull. "Global event. Final run. No spectators." He wanted to refuse.
To brake. To wake up. Instead, his foot mashed the accelerator. As the countdown hit 0, the last fragments of society collapsed into neon light and burnt rubber. And the world, too weird, too cursed to survive what he'd started. Vanished into the endless loop of the race. There was no finish line. There never had been.